just want to show you guys this because it's kind of cool. I'm going through here. I'm getting loaded with bricks, and I have to back on this side of that conveyor belt, and then I have to go down a little bit of an S curve there. It's kind of neat. I don't know. It's an interesting facility. I'm in Kansas. It's a really beautiful day today. I love it. I love this fall weather. Just want to share, this is a load of bricks that I'm in the midst of securing. Not too crazy, not too difficult. The only thing that's a real hassle is that the way the bricks are situated in the back, they're going to be directly over the tires, and that is always difficult because then you have to like figure out how to situate your winches so that you can tighten the winch bar down around the tire, because otherwise you simply can't. There's not enough space physically to like tighten it. I don't know if that makes any sense. I might try to show it, but I don't know. I'm just wanting to get out of here and maybe get back toward home if they decide that they feel like paying attention to the fact that, hi, I'm out here. But these are going to a high school. These are for a high school. So this is how your bricks get to build your school. You're welcome. All right, I'm on my way back to the terminal to turn in my truck, and I just thought I would drop one more litany of complaints. No. Let me file one last grievance before I move on. Right up until the last minute, this company is demonstrating itself to be what is unfortunately so endemic in trucking, and is a major reason why so many people don't stay at jobs for any length of time within the trucking industry, or many people have one idea of the industry and then they get into it and they just leave because they're not willing to put up with stuff. And this company is very much one of those companies that reinforces that idea that you are meat in the seat, to quote a kind of gross but very real phrase. They've held me hostage for so much time during these last few weeks that I've worked for them, and that's what led to me leaving. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words this morning. That's what led to me leaving, is the fact that I went through 2 weeks of quote-unquote training, which was not sufficient whatsoever for the task that I was charged with, which was securement of dangerous cargo as a flatbed hauler. I decided to overlook that to a certain extent. I mean, I felt like I was prepared enough to be safe, don't get me wrong, but I said to myself, okay, let me just see how it goes when I'm out on the road. I could not have imagined that they would put me in a brand new truck and have me spend a good half of my time sitting. I would not have expected that the amount of pay that I was quoted by albeit they all lie, we all know this, or we should, but the amount that I was quoted as an average amount of pay by the recruiter, I would not have imagined that I would make less than half of that, which is what I made this week. I thought I would maybe make 2/3 of that average to start out for a while, you know, and about a quarter I'm making of what they quote as what the highest earners make. Granted, last week was better, but when you average it out week to week, it's less than half of what they quoted. So it's completely, they just lie. They just make things up, and then when you talk to them about it, they complain about the freight market, but they're continuously hiring more drivers, more meat in the seat, that also they know cynically some of them will just drop off, some of them will quit, some of them will fail to live up to the expectations because they know the training isn't sufficient, or at least if they don't, they should. And of course, like all these other companies that give lip service to training, but then don't hire enough people to adequately do the training, don't have people who should be doing training of such a dangerous job, they put out this message of safety, safety, safety. And it's complete, it's just a lie. It's a facade, and it's crazy. It's really crazy to think about how many people are out here doing this job that aren't qualified to do it and haven't been properly trained, because these companies will not invest in proper training. They know there's going to be the turnover. So that's sort of like the big picture of everything. I'm on my way to turn in the truck, and it's a 2-trip process for me, because I'm about an hour drive in fairly heavy traffic between where the truck is, where the terminal is, and where I need to take my belongings, and I can only fit half of what fits in my truck per trip. So I could rent a U-Haul, but I don't want to, because I can't really afford to do that because I haven't been making money at this company. So I'm in a tight spot. I'm sharing all of this because this is not an uncommon story at all. So it's a 2-trip thing. So I sent a message to my fleet manager. I was like, can I, turn in the truck tomorrow around noon? I will get back this evening. I'll take a trip and take half my stuff and then come back and get the other half. And he's like, no, we need the truck for another driver today. So they kept me hostage out on the road this week, far from home, where I couldn't go home. They told me I couldn't leave this truck stop after my last drop off of this. So they had 5 days to plan a dispatch to get me back to the home terminal. They left me for an entire day after the morning drop off on the 4th delivery because they still didn't have a plan to get me back, and they made excuses about the lack of freight, which no, that's not what you're doing. You're letting me sit and you're prioritizing other stuff because you know that I already quit and you know that you have me where you want me. You don't have to do anything for me. You can just let me sit in your truck. And I pestered the crap out of my fleet manager, who I feel bad for because he's a middle manager type. He doesn't have any power really, I know that. But I knew that that was the only way to get anything to happen, was to be a squeaky wheel. Finally got a setup so I could get back. Thankfully, this awesome other driver who I met up with, who is now gonna be a friend of mine, you know who you are. And in having conversations with other drivers at this company, that's been a really important learning experience for me too, is this company is just a shitty company, and a lot of them are, unfortunately. It's a shitty company that has some good things, but the driver treatment is completely unacceptable, and I'm doing exactly the right thing walking away early. I wish I hadn't come back to this company, but I had an expectation that things would be different because I thought, there's a higher level of professionalism in something as serious as flatbedding. To me, it is more serious and more dangerous than, arguably, than, dry van. It requires a much higher level of effort by the driver and a much higher level of expectation on the part of the company. So my expectations were, commensurate to that, and I was wrong. So one thing I just want to tell you, I want to leave you with, is if you're not aware of this as a driver, if there's a widely known kind of a standard in the industry that a lot of drivers will tell you not to give notice when you leave a trucking company, to just wait until you're on home time, or tell them you need to go to home time or whatever it is, and move out of the truck completely on your own convenience, and then turn in your keys and let them know. And that is hard for me because I handle everything in a professional manner like I would at any other job, but trucking is not any other job. There's nothing that they can do to you if you don't give them notice, but there's a lot they can do to you when you do give notice, and that's what this company did. They let me just sit, and I'm a hostage in their truck. I am under obligation to make sure that their truck and their asset remain safe and where they want those items to be, because they belong to the company, they don't belong to me. So I don't have a lot of choices, and they can leave me in Nebraska like they did. They can leave me for an entire day where I can claim a little bit of layover pay, maybe $30 or $60 for that day that they let me just sit while they looked for a dispatch that they couldn't find for 5 days somehow. They can do that. And if I were to have just up and moved their truck, it could have caused me certain consequences, especially because they told me not to after I said I wanted to. There's all kinds of things drivers do, and it makes, the company will be like, oh, these drivers did blah, blah, blah. But it's because they put the driver in a position where the driver knew that was their only recourse. So long story short, I will never give notice when I leave a trucking company. Again, I learned that the hard way. You wait till you're on home time, you clear out the truck, you hand in your keys, and you say thank you very much, and you move on with your life. So I have to go back to the terminal. I'm gonna take 1 carload of stuff back, and then I guess I'm gonna store some of the stuff in a locked space in the terminal, because apparently there's been a theft issue there. That's great. Truckers should not, it's the idea of truckers stealing from other truckers makes me so crazy, because we all are out here doing such a hard job. Like, how dare you? But anyway, and I'm probably gonna make another trip back tonight, so it'll be a very long day of driving, especially Chicago traffic. It's gonna be annoying, but I want to wipe my hands of this. Or wash my hands of this, wipe my hands of this. That was weird. I want to wash my hands of this and move on. And I am glad I had this experience because I learned a lot, but wow, this company really sucks. And I will most certainly never be back. Goodbye. All right, I'm about to turn in my brand new truck. I want to show you something funny. Remember how I was complaining about this mattress? That's how that mattress looks after 3 weeks of being slept on. It's like all mashed down. Anyway, I'm out. Another job, saying goodbye. never coming back to this company. Hopefully a better experience at the next one. Leaving jobs is not fun. I really don't like doing it. I don't like bouncing from job to job. I would like to have some stability, but I also know what I'm willing to take and what I'm not, and you just have to know your worth. So hopefully I'll be receiving treatment that is more commensurate with what I bring to the table as a driver on this next run. Let's hope. Hello there. So I just wanted to tell you guys a little story about how I spent my day so far today. This is one of those situations where, I think I'm going to switch to my sandals because it is real warm outside, where in every single layer of trucking, like before you even start a job, there are things that you have to deal with that end up being super frustrating, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. I just went to, where do I start? I needed to get a drug test, right? You got to do that before every job. And you guys might remember that the last one that I did, I waited for like 2 or 3 hours, I think, from the time I got there. And I found out that at that particular place, people normally show up about an hour to half hour before the place opens. There's a line because it's just continuous chaos, and all it is urine tests, or urine and hair tests, and it takes time. And they also like cut a bald spot in the back of my head. I have very little hair to begin with, obviously, so I ended up shaving my head, which is fine. I was worried I would end up having to do that this time. I don't know if they would have done a hair test here because I'm leaving before getting it done. I'm gonna have to go to a different place. So I got to the place I was scheduled to have the test this morning at 8:50 a.m. They opened at 9. No one showed up. Apparently that office has changed their office hours, but they didn't tell anybody, so they changed it to 10. So I sat in my car and waited till 10, went back inside. Office hallway was dark. No one was answering the phone. I could hear the phone ringing inside. So I was like, okay. I called the recruiter and I told her, I was like, this place isn't active. It doesn't seem like I need to go somewhere else. She sends me to another clinic that's a Quest Diagnostics clinic that's 20 minutes away. I get there, I try to sign in on the kiosk, and I get a notification on the kiosk saying there are no more appointments for this service today or for drug testing today. So it automatically put me on a wait list. I turn around and I didn't realize right away until an employee points it out, but there's a screen behind me that shows where I am and the wait, that I'm just on a wait list. So I'm basically not in the queue, and the queue has 10 people every hour basically are scheduled, and the office people just keep coming and keep coming. Like it's just nonstop, one after another. There's families with kids. This is like a regular quick care clinic type thing, but I think they're doing like vaccinations and stuff, so people are, it's just nonstop. So I call the recruiter, and she's super nice. She's really apologetic, and I tell her, like, I think I could be waiting here all day and possibly not get in, because that's what one of the employees said. I was like, is that a possibility? She said yes. Meanwhile, there's no bathroom in there. It's extremely quiet. My AirPods just stopped working. They keep doing this thing where they disconnect. And I really have to go because I've been holding it for a long time. I finally asked one of the employees, is there a bathroom in there? She lets me go into the back area to use the restroom. And then I'm thinking, okay, I got to drink a bunch more water now and wait to go take the test whenever they get me in. And as I'm waiting, I check the screen again. Before it said 11 people in the next 60 minutes. Then I waited like an hour. It said 10 people in the next 60 minutes. People keep coming, and there's no way I'm going to get in. The thing that's really tough about this is the longer it takes them to get my results back from the drug test, the longer it takes me to start driving. Usually it only takes a couple of days. It's pretty quick, but it's like I don't have time because I haven't been making money for a month at this job, really, like not anywhere near what I need to make to be where I need to be. So this is just another thing that's delaying, and it's because this is a cost of, like, this is one of the smaller side things that happens as a impact of our healthcare crisis in this country, and like so many people having left the profession because of all the bullshit that's happened over the last several years, that you go to a clinic like this, there's no receptionist, there's a window that has a drawn screen over it, and then there's a kiosk that you have to sign in with and interact with. There's no person. It's crazy. So I'm gonna go to the place tomorrow that is close to the hotel in the afternoon, so I got to go there earlier than I intended to. I lost half my day today for no reason. Got up earlier than I wanted to and got here. Well, I got to catch the sunrise, so that was really nice, but I got to where I needed to go early and for no reason. So I spent half a day sitting and waiting in doctor's offices and still didn't accomplish what I needed to accomplish. So just be aware, if you are going into trucking and you have to do drug testing, it's really challenging, and it might be more challenging because I'm in an area where there are a lot of trucking companies, so I don't know if that makes it worse. But this particular situation was more, this wasn't a place that was having a lot of truck drivers come through for drug testing, as far as I could tell. I don't know. I'm trying really hard to just keep my temper down, because it's really frustrating when you don't have a lot of downtime most of your life because of your job, to like have a half a day just get taken away from you for nothing. So good times. This is that's trucking, baby. It's always something.